What's going on, you guys? Frost here, and I'm back with another video. Today's video, I'm doing an in-depth AMUMU jungle guide. AMUMU right now is incredibly strong. He has very good teamfight potential. His early clear is very good as well. The only issue with AMUMU is the fact that if you get invaded early, you can run into some issues, but there are ways to work around that, which I will talk about in this guide as well. And yeah, overall, he clears really quickly. Overall, after the buffs, him following things with his Q is an incredibly good thing. They did buff his passive a little bit, but then this patch they also reverted that buff, which is fine, doesn't necessarily matter too much. It's a little bit of damage lost, but the Q follow thing is the most important one, and that's what just makes AMUMU really strong just straight up right now. So yeah, let's just get right into the runes. Wait, hang on, before we continue this video, I quickly want to introduce you guys to Quarterback, or also now known as Club.gg. This is an app where you can participate in certain challenges, max kills, max assist, best KDA, max CS, in 3 different types of maps in the Summoner's Rift map, ARAM and ARUF. Completing these challenges will give you coins, which can be used to buy skins, join raffles. Skins can also be discounted by leveling up in the app itself, and you can just buy literally any skin you want. You can go search for a Silas skin. Every skin is there, maybe a Karthus skin, every skin is here. Also, with the discounts, you can see here a normal skin that would be more expensive, otherwise is now cheaper. You can simply just click it, select the summoner that you've linked to club.gg, and then redeem your prize to get your skin to your account. If you are interested in this app and want to join my club as well, that is possible. Just click the top link in the description, press the join club, then register, and then press play for club. I hope to be competing with you guys against other clubs, and also a friendly competition, of course, between you guys to get that first place spot for the free RP that I'll personally give to you. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video. Now, for the runes, we go Aftershock every single time. Aftershock on AMUMU is amazing. It procs on his ultimate, it procs on his Q, and this pretty much means that you are going to be incredibly tanky, whilst also just being able to dish out a lot of damage. Aftershock has saved me many times, and also because you stack quite a bit of HP, it's also going to do a good amount of damage as well. Then moving on, you want to get the Demolish. Demolish is very good just straight up because it procs on turrets really well. Demolish does a lot of turret damage, and the other two here don't necessarily do much. You can go Font of Life if you want, but I just value Demolish a lot more because of the fact that if you get a gank off, you can then Demolish proc a turret, get a plate for free every single time pretty much, and that's the reason I picked Demolish. Getting that free plate every time is really good. So after Demolish, you can go Conditioning or Bone Plating. Bone Plating is only something you pick into early game junglers like Elise, maybe Elise Sin, or just anything early game oriented. You want to get Bone Plating because then you want to have the extra survivability if they do invade you. If the enemy jungler is just a Sejuani, maybe a Rammus or a Nunu or whatever, just something tanky or something that just scales more, then Conditioning is the one you want, because at that point then this is going to give you a lot more value. Now, on the last one here, you have the Unflinching option or the Overgrowth option. Unflinching is against CC comps, like just enemy team comps that have a lot more crowd control. Then you want to pick Unflinching, because then this is going to give you more tenacity. If they don't have anything of the sort on the enemy team, you want to get Overgrowth just to increase your max HP. And yeah, just be more tanky in general, really. So that's the first 3. This is the rune page you go every game. There are no exceptions. You don't go anything else because the rest is just not good. Now for the secondary tree, that's also just one option. It has you always want to get Presence of Mind on AMUMU. This is an amazing rune on AMUMU. Your ultimate is your main thing when it comes to team fighting, so you definitely want to make sure that every time you ult, you have at least the cooldown reduction on it. Your ult's easily going to be able to hit like 3, 4, maybe 5 people if you get a good flash ultimate in. So for that reason, or just an ult in general, with Q following people now, they can easily just pull you into the team, and then you can get a 4 or 5 man ult off. If you get that ultimate off, you're gonna get 40 to 50% CDR on your ultimate pretty much, and that is a lot of time that you gain. So literally, if you get one good ult off in a team fight, maybe 4 people, or just you get 5 assists throughout the team fight, then Presence of Mind's gonna just give you a lot of your ultimate cooldown back. And also, AMUMU is quite mana hungry, so the mana restore function of this is also very nice. And this is just overall a godlike rune on AMUMU. You want to get this every single game, no exceptions. Now the only thing that you can change is you can go for the tenacity, or you can go for the coup de grace. One of these two with the Presence of Mind is the one you want to get. If the enemy team again is heavy CC focused, you can go for the tenacity here in combination with unflinching in this tree. So this combination will give you a lot of tenacity, which means that if you go Strix, which I personally do on AMUMU because it's just really, really good, then you still have enough tenacity to survive their crowd control really and be able to move and get an ultimate off or get a Q off or something like that. So that's really what you want to look for. This is only the option if they have a lot of CC. If they don't, then you just simply go coup de grace with Presence of Mind, and then you pick something like this up, and then this again, early game jungler, not an early game jungler, and that's your rune page. Now for this one, it's always double adaptive force, and then this one kind of depends on the enemy team. It's really just AP heavy, get magic resist, AD heavy, or just in general get armor, and then this is not good. You just need to get one of these two. This is much more worth it because, yeah, well, you get a lot more out of it. Also, the 6 armor is very nice, just surviving early game. So this is the rune setup for AMUMU. If you guys have any questions on it, make sure to put those in the comments below. And yeah, let's get right into the item build now. Alright, so starting off, the item build on AMUMU is a Hunter's Talisman. This one is a must get because this is the one that's gonna allow you to clear your jungle. If you pick up anything else, well, this is just gonna be straight useless. So just pick up this one and you're good. Now combine that with a refillable potion, and then the healing from this is more than enough to get you to your initial clear. You have no problems with that, so literally just pick these two up and you're good. Now on your first back, you always want to get, because you're always going to back with about 650 gold, you always want to get this red smite. The skirmisher saber is the best one on AMUMU. You might think, why do I not go for blue smite? You don't really need it. You have the Rylise later on in this build as well. You have a Q for a massive distance, and your ultimate CCs really well, so you don't really have any sticking problems. That's not the issue. The main issue is getting bursted, because you could get bursted. It's very unlikely that someone's able to 1v1 you though, but the burn from this red smite, along with the damage reduction and then just the burn from your W in general, is going to allow you to just burn through pretty much anyone 1v1. A tank is pretty much always screwed. A carry like maybe a Kha'Zix could give you a lot of trouble. So for those reasons, you want to get the red smite, because you can reduce their damage by 20% and then also deal more damage to them. So that's why you want to get red smite every game. Now again, you always want to upgrade that red smite into the Cinderhulk enchant. Some of you guys might be like, well, if you're going like the Rylise Lysanderis route, why aren't you going AP? Let me tell you why. Because AP makes you really, really squishy, and that's not something you want. Also, the burn from Cinderhulk is really, really good. They buffed it quite recently. It's really good at clearing camps a lot faster, doing Barons and Dragons with, because it stacks up to be a lot of extra damage on a Baron or a Dragon. So this is gonna turn into an immense just Baron potential / Dragon potential on AMUMU. You can burn that thing down in like 20 seconds by yourself. Well, I say by yourself, you need to have someone tank it for you, because if you get hit by Baron, you get a damage reduction buff on you, so you cannot tank it, because then you will not do enough damage to survive to be able to still clear the Baron. So you need someone to tank it for you, and at that point you can easily do Baron. You're gonna burn it really, really quickly. And yeah, with that, Cinderhulk is the option. Now, after this, you always, every single game, want to get the upgrade into Strix as fast as possible. The Cinderhulk also does magic damage, so this helps as well with your Strix. Also, AMUMU has the magic resist, like, passive thing, so you pass by a lot of magic resist with that as well. So this is gonna stack on the enemy champion quite nicely and deal a good amount of extra damage as well. The Strix will obviously help through AMUMU's entire kit. You do a lot of magic damage, so this is gonna be your best option. Now, at this point, it is quite a straightforward linear build. You want to get into the Liandry's as fast as possible. Depending on how much gold you have, you might want to get the blasting wand with the amp tome first. AMUMU's AP scalings are very, very good. So just going for a lot of extra ability power is more worth it than just getting a hunting guise. Of course, the damage increase from a hunting guise is nice, but if you don't have the 1500 gold straight up, just get a blasting wand, get this. It's a little bit less gold. It's like 1300-ish. And then you can pick that up. So don't like pressure yourself to be able to get this hunting guise every single time. It's not that big of a deal. Just build towards this Liandry's as fast as you can, and you want to get this first. Now, after Liandry's, it's a very simple Rylise every single time. It's a very linear build. As you can see, these 4 items are pretty much core, and you build them in this specific order every single game. This damage combination right here is completely insane. You have the burn from Cinderhulk, which is gonna obviously with these Liandry's increase by 10%. And then also the Rylise will slow, which means the Legendary's burn is going to do more. And with your W burn on max HP as well, it's just going to completely shred enemies. You can walk into the enemy team, drop maybe an ultimate, and no one's going to get away from you because every single W tick you're going to Rylise slow. So they're pretty much just permanently slowed. And you can just walk them to death. They will not be able to get out unless they like flash or have a really good like flash ability just in their kit. So this item combination is insane. Also with this item combination, Baron is a breeze. If you let someone tank it for you, and by that I mean it, make sure they tank the Baron without you getting the damage reduction buff. Baron will be gone in 15 seconds. It's just straight up dead. You do so much damage with your W, it's instantly just dead. So that's a very, very powerful thing you can do in a game. And to follow this up, you don't need anything else when it comes to damage. You don't need death cap, don't need any AP items. This is just all pretty much useless, I would say. The only thing you want is survivability at this point, because this burn together is completely insane with your W and then also your passive. So the items you want to look for are these two armor items. You can get a Thornmail and Frozen Heart. You always want to prioritize Frozen Heart as a armor item in general because it gives 20% CDR, 400 mana, but also reduces attack speed, which is really good. Also just a straight up 100 armor. If you look at this right here, this is HP, and this is HP, and this stacks with Cinderhawk really well, so you're gonna have a high HP pool. Your Aftershock is gonna give you a lot of armor magic resist to go with that, so you're gonna already be tanky. And then all you need to do is pick items that have a quite high armor value to synergize with that. So Frozen Heart, 100 armor, or Thornmail, 80 armor. It's a very high number on both, so these are your options. Now, Frozen Heart is the best one, so you want to get this just as an armor item in general in 99% of your games. If you are then facing a full AD comp, you want to pick up the Thornmail to follow the Frozen Heart up, because then armor just straight up is the best one to go for. There's no reason to get a magic resist item next, you just want to get the Thornmail. Also, Thornmail reflects magic damage, and since you have Sorks and your passive, you're gonna burst through them really easily because they have a lot less magic resist against an AMUMU. And that's why Thornmail is the best option then. So this right here would be a full build setup on a AMUMU with a full AD enemy team. Now, if they are not full AD, then Frozen Heart is pretty much your armor item. They're gonna have an AD champion somewhere, so it's still something you want. But then you want to look into the magic resist section. There are two options here as well. You have these, the Abyssal Mask, which is usually the one I pick up, but you also have the Adaptive Helmet in case of the enemy team having a lot of like subsequent magic damage from same abilities. Casio E, maybe a... I can't think of anything right now, just anything that you will see it, you will know when I see it. Yeah, you Karthus Qs, Casio's E's, just anything like that. Then you want to get that Adaptive Helmet, because that will just make you incredibly tanky against those types of champions. Also works on like Kaisa Q, for example, and yeah, just that kind of stuff. So, actually, does it work on Kaisa Q? Is Kaisa Q physical damage? Anyway, just anything that stacks magic damage with the same skill, you want to get adaptive. If not, you want to get this. And this item also is very, very good because it also gives you extra mana. But then also the 15% more magic damage is completely insane. So in 90 to 95% of your games, you're going to want to get the Abyssal Mask, because most of the time they're not going to have too many, maybe just one where Adaptive Helmet will be useful. But there are some games where the Adaptive Helmet will shine, so that's something that I do have to mention. These two are the, I guess, changeable options into full AD comps or just the subsequent magic damage comps. Now, something to end this off with. If they have full magic resist or like full magic damage comps and they don't really have anything that does any physical damage, like sure they're always gonna have an AD carry. However, this AD carry might just be like Kokma or Kaisa that does a lot more magic damage as well. Then it's gonna be worth it to go double magic resist item, and in that situation you want to just get these 4 items, build the Abyssal Mask, and then at this point you can get any other magic resist item. The one I personally usually pick up is the Banshee's Veil, because of the fact that it still gives me a nice increased amount of extra ability power. It gives 60 magic resist and also the shield. There's really no other good option on AMUMU to get apart from like if they obviously have the Adaptive Helmet option. So if I would get in the Banshee's Veil if they have a full AP comp without the adaptive option, if you know what I'm saying. So that's pretty much the build for AMUMU. If you guys have any questions on it, make sure to put those in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer those for you. If you guys have enjoyed this video so far, please remember to hit that thumbs up button, it means a lot. And yeah, let's just go right into the gameplay section now. Alright, welcome to the gameplay section of this guide. As you can see, I am playing AMUMU, of course, into an Elise. Now, Elise is one of the more difficult matchups for AMUMU because she is an early game champion. Wait, hold on just 1 second. I'm gonna change the fog of war because I didn't. Just so you can only see the perspective from our team. So, Elise is a very difficult matchup for AMUMU just because she's a very good early game champion. She can have a lot of gank pressure early on. She can invade you early on and actually win. The only thing with Elise that is a good thing for AMUMU is every time her spiderlings hit her, or hit the AMUMU, the E from AMUMU gets 1 second less. So, as Elise, you have to be very careful of that. As AMUMU, that's a very good thing. But Elise is still a very good early game champion, so you're going to run into some problems. Now, the best start on AMUMU is the solo wolf start. The reason for this is it's going to be very difficult for the enemy jungler to actually know where you start properly. Most people won't expect this. Some people might think, well, he maybe starts Raptors or he starts whatever side. But if you start without a leash, then you already have a slight advantage because the enemy jungler is going to have to guess where you start. So that's really why this solo wolf starts are also very good. Now, if you're facing an early game champion, it's crucial that you place the ward here. The ward that you have to place it here whilst you clear your wolves. So, to know if the early game jungler tries to invade you on your blue, maybe, if they don't know where you started, so they might try that. Or if they, like, pick one side to try to jungle from. You always want to make sure you place the ward here, because if that happens, you need to make sure that you can still counter jungle their blue buff whilst they take yours. So you still have a blue buff, and you don't just lose out on the camp straight up. Now, also another thing is, it's very, very good to ask for this specific ward. This ward right here to spot the raptor camp, or on the other side if you're this side of the map. Then this ward right here is very, very nice. You want to start the same here, on that side of the map, by the way, just right there. But if you see the raptors from the enemy jungler, you can see how they path. If they, for example, do red and then do raptors, like for here, red raptors, and then walk that way, you know they're clearing up, and then you know you're pretty much safe. There's really nothing that they will be able to do to touch you then, unless they walk straight from here to your red buff. But even then, that's very unlikely, and you're still going to be probably fast enough to avoid it, as you're going to see right now. So that being said, I'll speed up this a little bit. Now, it's very important to always auto-attack the big one first, and then press E, because then your passive is going to apply. Now, as you see, I kited this camp down, placed this ward, and now I'm going to kite the camp slowly back that way. You want to try to still get as many hits from your wolf camp as possible to reduce your E cooldown. So try to get as many hits as possible, is all I'm trying to say. So yeah, you clear this, it's pretty much down, and I kill it right there. Oh, whoops. I kill it right there, so I instantly have the shortest path towards this. Now the Elise is currently sitting on my blue buff, so right here, I just cleared this real quick because it's an incredibly fast camp on AMUMU. And because I just placed that ward, I saw the Elise go here, so I instantly just path towards her blue buff to make sure I still get one. And this can happen against these early game matchups, but usually if you're facing more scaling champions, they will not try to invade you or anything like that. And now the enemy team is instantly just gonna be a bit more, like, careful. I steal the blue buff still, and I, from there, just casually continue my jungle clear. It doesn't really matter. At this point, I traded blue buffs, so I can take that and be okay with it. You don't want to play too risky early on with AMUMU, because you have to make sure that you can survive. As you can see, you get through the first clear quite easily. It's not that big of a problem. And I pick up the red smite here with the extra control rod. Normally, I would not have the money for a control rod, because normally the clear of just doing wolves, raptors, red, and then krugs is gonna you're gonna easily be able to do that. You're gonna be quite low at the end of that clear, but you're gonna have 640-ish gold, so you can wait a little bit in base, get the red smite, and then walk down. In those situations, you can still clear the blue, so you'll have it later. And that's the optimal play, if you can have your blue buff still at this moment in time and pick it up right now, because then you're going to have it for longer. And then throughout that entire time, it's going to be more beneficial, because then you have more mana in those situations. So here, you want to always check if the scuttle is up. If you cleared from here, from wolves that way, and then recall, always check scuttle first. If it's up, take it. It will usually be up, because the enemy jungler might clear from the other, like they usually clear the opposite direction, so it's usually up, you can usually take it. If you cannot take it against an early game champion, that's completely fine. Don't push it too much. AMUMU can afford it. You have a fast enough jungle clear for it to be fine. Now, you always want to Q it, and then with the burn, you can easily just kill it. I smite it right there, and this is a good start for me. Good enough. It's against an Elise. She didn't kill me on an invade. I did trade blue buffs because of the ward that I placed, and that's completely fine. Now, right here, my objective is to just farm as fast as possible through my camps. As you can see, I do it really quickly. I just want to farm as fast as possible, get my level 6, and that's the ideal situation I'm playing for right now. Right here, I have a little bit of time to kill, as you can see, because my Krugs are delayed. So I just walk top lane, maybe get like 1 or 2 minions, hold the wave, try to hold it before Malphite pushes it into the turret, and Jax can kind of freeze the wave, so that's ideal in that situation. I can kind of check maybe if the Gromp is up or wherever at least something cleared it, and by that time I can just walk back here. Now I walk back this way because I can Q over this wall very easily, so this is a little bit of a better path. Now, as you can see, I made use of that time just freezing top lane so Jax could have that. And then I also checked the top side for release in the little bit of downtime I had. Make sure you play that efficiently, and then you should be good. Now here I hit level 6, and this is where our AMUMU starts to become a complete monster. So this is the thing you're playing for. You're gonna be able to hit it a little bit faster if you don't get invaded like that, and if you can just do your normal path. You're gonna be level 6 at like 6-ish minutes, and that's gonna be a lot faster that way, but that's just against non-early game junglers. I'm looking for maybe a gank potential or gank opportunity at this point. The enemy team saw me somewhere, so that's kind of whatever. I saw the opportunity to gank the Azir in mid lane here. As you can see, he's pretty low. Just land my Q. The Soraka flash silenced him, which I didn't expect, so I didn't have to waste my ult in that situation. I actually didn't, but normally, if you land someone with Q like that and you're not sure if they have flash up or not, always Q and then instantly ult. Don't try to get greedy for an auto attack, because then they will flash out of your ultimate and you're not going to be able to hit them. Now this is why Demolish is very good. As you can see, this blade is pretty much free because of Demolish, and I could just walk away right after that. And that's really why I love Demolish so much. Now from here I can just easily clear my jungle again. As you can see, Raptor is a very quick camp, and then also this is very, very quick. Now the moment you pick up your Cinderhawk, your camp's clear speed is going to be completely insane. So that's really the play you want to go for. At that point, you can easily just do a lot of stuff. Now, I have 66 CS. Elise has 60, which I believe is probably a good amount of lane CS as well. But yeah, that's fine. So right here, he stuns the Malphite. I stun him, chain him, and then he pretty much just dies. So that's a very good play in that situation. This is a place you can easily look for, by the way. Like, he stuns him right here. He stuns him there. I just CC chain the Q. He did, like, kind of flash it, or did he? No, he ulted it, but I followed him with Q because of the Q changes, and that's very nice. I was still able to get on top of him, and yeah. So again, a nice Demolish proc coming in clean there for a good 2 turret plates, and that's really Demolish being just completely godlike, so that's very, very nice. Now, I currently have 2200 gold, which is really good for me, because that means Cinderhawk with Sorks, and that's that's straight up your power spike, so that's the thing you're playing for. Now, Azir just fought the Soraka in mid lane. He used everything he had, so Flash, Ignite, and Ultimate, so I can easily just walk around and look for a play on these Azir right here. Jax is also coming, so I kind of push him up, and then Jax just stuns him with the thing, and I just stun him, and he's dead. So that's a very good situation right there for us as well. Alright, here my bot lane dies to an elite gank, which is fine. All I gotta do is make sure that I keep clearing my camps as much as possible. I do miss the brush right here with his pink ward, which is very unfortunate, but yeah, that's just my bad. I'm playing this slow. I don't want to start doing a lot of damage to it, because I saw the Elise right there. Bot lane just died. So I do still clear pretty quickly, as you can see, and all I have to do is make sure I smite it in time. I am now a level higher than Elise, and this is gonna start to scale a little bit more. I do have my ultimate up and my flash up right here, so I can easily look for a play. As you can see, I am going over here, and I'm just going to try to hit the ultimate. I barely missed the Kai'Sa because, yeah, I actually should have flash ulted that, honestly. So that was a misplay on my part. I should have just flash ulted that situation. Now, Elise counter ganks me here, and this actually ends up going quite poorly. Malphite TP'd, and there's really not much I can do. I should have really flash ulted the Kai'Sa and the Pyke, so I made sure I got the Kai'Sa in my ultimate as well. And that was really a misplay in that situation. Always, like, as soon as you ult the AD carry, they're unable to auto-attack. So that's gonna allow you to deal a lot of free damage to them, they will not be able to just tank for free. Now Jax is making a play here, goes a little bit too aggressive. I was not able to follow that up very nicely. And here at this point I just kind of get baited and die. So that's not optimal for me at all. And they just get a massive lead off that. Now this also gives them the Rift Herald. And we're in a sticky situation at this point. But it is all fine because I did get a couple of early kills. And keeping my CSing up is the most important thing on AMUMU. You're really good at it. You clear really quickly. And if you just keep doing that, you're going to be able to carry your team through later stages of the fights. Now here, as you can see, is just straight up me just walking up to him. I don't want to waste my Q. I want to make sure that I keep my Q as long as possible. Make sure I stand like maybe right next to the target. He then ults out. And because he doesn't know my Q cooldown, he's kind of just walking back and forth. I mean, it's still on cooldown, that's fine. But he is just still respecting that. And holding that, for example, right there. Let's say my Q was off cooldown. Even if I still held it, instead of trying to snipe him with it, they're going to try to do some random shit like that. Trying to dodge it, maybe. And that's the ideal situation, because then you can just walk up to him. Now, they place the Rift Herald mid. My team tries to fight this, which is not optimal. And they kind of just push us out. I do have my ultimate up in this situation, so I can definitely look for a play. Don't have flash, though, but yeah. Now, as you can see, I am literally just taking the CS as much as possible. All I've got to do is keep it cool and just keep scaling. As you can see, my team is doing really poorly. 1 in 4, 2 in 5 on both top and the AD carry. And this guy's 1 in 4 as well. I am doing okay. I have a good amount of CS. Elise has 8 kills though, but she's an early game champion. So her getting the kills is actually not too bad for me. If it was like the Azir getting more kills, then we might have an actual issue. But yeah. So the very important thing here is just keeping it cool. Taking as much farm as possible. And even just claiming CS from your laners, if they are doing this poorly, is a very good option. Because you definitely don't want to just give that stuff if you can carry yourself. Now this is a very good situation for me. This is where AMUMU starts to kind of shine. If you have the flash ultimate up, it's pretty much guaranteed to be a very good ult placement, that flash. So you want to look for those situations. Malphite's tanking here for a very good amount of damage. Now they get low. Both Kai'Sa and the Pyke are there. Kai'Sa is unable to auto-attack me right now. As you can see, she's not able to auto-attack while she is like hit by my ultimate. So I get to do a lot of free damage to her. She uses her heal and pretty much gets 100 to 0'd in no time at all. I then here just Q the Malphite. And the Pyke is pretty much already dead, so I don't really have to focus him. I'm still going to walk up to him and do my damage. And at this point, Elise is also going to die no matter what. There's really not much the Elise can do. I get a very nice 1000 gold shutdown on the Elise, and this is a very good turning point for our team. Now, as you can see instantly, I am just going back to clearing my camps. I need to get as much gold as I possibly can to be able to carry this. As you can see, I pick up the Leandris right there, which is a very good power spike, and then I'm getting close to a Rylai's. Now, this is the type of situation you always want to just avoid. If you don't have your ultimate up, I don't think I had it up in that situation. Actually, I think I did because of presence of mind. I got a lot of kills / assists in the last fight, so it's already back up now. And right here, the Braum gets pretty much caught out completely. There's not much to do about that one, so I'm just playing it a little bit slow and waiting for good ult opportunities. They do have Baron in this situation, so we gotta respect this. Now, the only problem here is the reason we cannot do anything. The Jax has TP on cooldown, and he is pushing bot lane. If the Jax was right here with us, I could easily engage this, drop an ult onto the enemy team, and they would just instantly die. Because AMUMU ult does a serious amount of damage. But because Jax is bot lane, I have to respect this, walk back to my double turrets, and give up the inhibitor. That's quite unfortunate, but there's really not much I can do about that. I was, at this point, not really trusting my team to do anything at all. Because they were all just making a lot of mistakes, and I had to pretty much clean everything up. So I just played very slow and played smart to be able to get as much farm as possible, whilst also just, well, just waiting for good ult opportunities to actually pick a fight. I don't personally want to pick a fight if I don't have those good ult opportunities, and you have to keep that in mind yourself as well when playing AMUMU. If you just pick random fights or use your ultimate on just one target, you're easily going to throw games just for you not having an ultimate in a very good situation. So I'm going to be personally always very careful when I actually use my ultimate or when I look for certain situations. Alright, here I'm kind of standing off to the side to maybe flank him. I don't have a flash right now, so I might look for maybe a Q. I do miss my Q there, so there's really not much I can do in that situation. And right here, we just walk back off that turret. Braum died again, and we just gotta chill for a bit. Now, we do also have Soraka mid lane, so we lose a lot of magic damage on that front, or just damage in general, because she doesn't really do any damage. And that's a really big downside as well. Now right there, I see the opportunity to hit the Malphite with a Q and then maybe get a good ultimate off, as you can see right here. So I don't want them to get this inhibitor really if I can try to avoid it. So I want to try to maybe pick a fight before that happens. As you can see, the way they're positioned right now, I can easily get a Q off on this Malphite. So I Q him right there. I get instantly pike hooked. I tried to get the Elise with the pike in and the Malphite in my ultimate, but it just barely clips out of the both of them. Elise goes E into the air. And this inhibitor is still up right now. So we can easily turn this still. And there's really at that point not much they can do. There I barely don't have to damage to finish him off. But this is a completely fine fight for us. We kind of win that. We get a 4-for-1 trade. Just because of the fact that we got a good situation there. And yeah, at this point, that's a very good fight for us. We are very far behind. Or let's say my team is very far behind. I'm doing pretty well. But at this point, you can see the enemy team. They have the Elise, Azir, and Kai'Sa. This is a very solid amount of magic damage. Malphite also does magic damage. So I instantly built the magic resist item first. Which is going to be the Abyssal Mask. Because I want to also increase my damage at the same time. Because I need to have damage to be able to win these fights. Now, as you can see right here, just go back. Now, this is the type of situations you'll look for on AMUMU. So I kind of wait a little bit before I go in. So my Jax jumps in. They're going to kind of group together to try and hit the Jax. So I instantly just Q the Azir. I hit my ultimate on both. I'm pretty much their entire team at that point. They lose a lot of HP for that. And we are able to clean this up. I was not able to follow that through properly. Because I could still die in that situation. And I want to try to live as much as possible. So I just dropped the ultimate, try to get as much as we can so we get 2 kills out of it, and then that's good. You don't want to over push yourself if you are in this type of situation as I am right now. My team is getting back into the game from a very big deficit because of my good ultimates. So that's very, very good. And yeah, that's all I want to do. I want to try to not die. Because if I die right now, I still have a very good risk of my team just losing a team fight. They need me. They need my ultimate. And yeah. So right here, I'm just, again, looking for a proper situation to maybe get my ultimate off. I tried to Q the Elise here. Barely miss it. If I was able to hit that, I would have been able to get a 4-man ultimate in this situation. Just Q the Elise. She would have instantly died to my ultimate. I would have been able to hit the Azir and the Kai'Sa with my ultimate, so they will not be able to auto-attack. And then that fight would have been really good. So sadly, I missed that. I do have my flash up here, so I might look for a flash ultimate still. But I am going to be a little bit more careful. Try to give Jax the jump and just look for it that way. Now, the Kai'Sa jumps further, so I just instantly just try to clean her up and play with my team in this situation. I do still have my ultimate up. I still have my flash up. Don't waste your ultimate. This is a very important thing. And this is also why you saw me hold my ultimate for so long. As soon as you waste your ultimate, you have no pressure at that point anymore. So try to only get good situations. So as you can see right here, I see the Azir. So I just throw a Q on the Azir. I see the Malphite right next to it. And this is my chance to ult. As you can see right there, I hit the 3 of them with my ultimate. I instantly kill Malphite. And then I barely... I mean, I don't have the damage. But that was a very good situation to actually ult. If I was able to get 1 more E off, this guy would have died as well. And then that would have been a very proper situation. Now, we are 5-man dead. Soraka's respawning, so they are going to be able to get the turret and the inhibitor, sadly. This is mostly because they kind of got caught out in this situation and I missed my Q. If I hit that Q on the Elise, I would have been very okay in that fight. I would have gotten an even better ult off, but that's just... something like that can happen. Now, the Jax chases this with a TP. Doesn't get anything from it, which is fine. Now, all you have to do before you take a next fight on AMUMU, you need to have your ultimate up. Now, the Jax goes way too deep and way too aggressive into this play. So I definitely want to make sure that I just chill. I see the opportunity here. I don't have my ultimate right there. That's really the thing I misplayed on. Because if I had it up right there, this would have been an extremely good ultimate. I think I was maybe looking, I have it, but I didn't. So right here, if I would have ulted this situation, that would have been an instant teamfight win. But yeah, I don't know why I went in. I think I might have in my thought process or maybe tunnel vision or something. I thought I had my ult up or something like that. So I instantly have to flash out, sadly. I can go back in because my ultimate then instantly comes back up. The reason for that is, as you can see right here. I believe they killed a Kai'Sa here. Getting that kill gives me an assist, which means my presence of mind is going to refund my ultimate to be up. And then all I have to do right here is just Q him. Elise goes out of spider form, which instantly means she cannot repel my ultimate. And I get an instant double kill. And at this point, Pyke's not going to kill me because he doesn't have the ult anymore. So at this point, I just run him down and kill him. So from a whoopsie situation where I didn't have my ult up to a very good play. Now the Malphite TP's here to maybe try and end the game, but there's really nothing he can do. AMUMU is very good damage on him, as you can see. I just put my W on him, and he starts to get burned. He starts to also be permanently slowed by Rylai's, and just see the amount of damage to him, and he's just dead. Now this minion wave is not really going to do much, because again, AMUMU just clears it really well. He does still get the turret, sadly, but that's just whatever it is. I turned out that teamfight pretty well, and as you can see, my ultimate is pretty much back up for the next one. I'm level 16 right now, and I have a lot of damage in the Abyssal Mask. Now, I'm building a Spectre Skull in this game because the Elise counts very well into an adaptive. The Azir does as well. You have a Kai'Sa, and then just damage in general. So the adaptive, they have a lot of magic damage on the enemy team. And in this situation, a double magic resist item, and then the adaptive as the second one is really what you want to look for. Now, the grave mistake the enemy team makes in this situation is they are doing Baron, but I'm a level higher than Elise. So I believe this is the moment where I just... Actually, oh, that was not it. Oh, damn. I thought I was stealing that Baron in that situation, but I clearly didn't. Still, that was a very risky play from them, though, because I was a level higher. If I was going to be able to go in a little bit sooner, I don't think I had vision on this, actually. Did I? Let me look at this. Yeah, no, yeah, okay. So I kind of missed that smite. She still got it. It's a very risky play from them, but I had to try to just go for that. I still did a lot of damage to them. They still took a lot of damage. So my team is back into this game a little bit more than they were. So they should be able to hold for a little bit for me to get up. They have to reset because they can't go for a play like that. Unless that happens, they didn't reset, so Elise just straight up dies. Lucian kills the Elise, kills the Azir, and then Jax is just easily able to clean this up because Jax actually got the chance to scale. I kept him in the game, and that's very good. Now, sadly, I missed my smite here, and that kind of turned out really badly, but Jax and Lucian actually cleaned up this team fight specifically. I got them through the rest of them, and that's really all we need at this point. Alright. So right here, I just want to get as much farm as possible. I need to get to that adaptive helmet before we fight next. So as you can see, I'm really just rushing up the CS. You clear really quickly on AMUMU, and I'm back with 1600 gold, which is going to be my adaptive. And this time, I'm pretty much going to be unkillable for them. Now, again, you just want to look for a good situation. I do not have my flash, so that's really unfortunate. If I did have my flash, then I would have been able to set up a team fight perfectly. But right now, I'm looking for maybe a position where I can queue from. So I don't, as a AMUMU, you do not want to be standing like right here, for example. Because then they always have the position to see you and then to react or like walk in a certain way. So I can't really get a good ultimate off. So the ideal situation is standing off a little bit more to the side. As you can see, they are kind of grouped right now. So I'm standing off to the side, maybe looking for a situation to queue this, for example. So I do have to remember that, of course, the turret's here, so I can't go too far. But like situations like that's what I'm looking for. And if I can get those situations, that's really, really good. Just watch the positioning. Now, in this situation, I'm standing way more to above because I can't really walk down there anymore. This turret's gonna go down. They have Baron, so the Lucian went back to heal. Jax goes in. I sadly missed my Q barely there, as you can see. I'll go back and boost it a little bit slower. Follow me. Now, this is just positioning. Like, you kind of want to position yourself in a way to walk this way and maybe get a Q onto maybe their Azir or their Kai'Sa. So I'm trying to go for that. They group together. I barely don't have the range to hit that Q. If that Q would have hit, I would have gotten a really good ultimate off. But unfortunately, that wasn't to be. I still have my ultimate. Still waiting for a good situation. I'm not going to ult just one target. So right here, just see me put my W on and just start hitting. At this point, I am just looking to get... And right here, I get the 3-man ultimate in. The Azir right there just dies to me. My Aftershock kills him in that situation. And I just walk over that team. Now, the only... like really big misplay that's being made here is Soraka leaving me. If Soraka is right here next to me healing me, this would have been easy. But I'm gonna look back at this because in this specific situation I was a little bit triggered by that. So I'm gonna actually watch the Soraka right now. So she's walking right there. We kill him. Lucian gets low, Braum gets low. Alright, so now instead of going towards me, Soraka is then following the Lucian. Whilst I'm still right here in the fight. She's just healing up this Lucian. So I'm just currently 1v4ing their enemy team. And Soraka is just chilling on the side. And yeah, if Soraka had just healed me once or twice, the enemy team would have died straight up. So that's really unfortunate for me in that part. But my team does clean up the rest, so it's okay. Yeah. Again, just waiting out a proper situation to ult is the key part in that team fight. And I was able to swing it for my team. Now that would have been a little bit cleaner, as I said, if the Soraka followed me and healed me there, but that's all good, I suppose. As you can see, 15 and 6, want to get this blue, hit that level 18. And then for the next team fight, at this point, having your flash and having your ultimate is pretty much a straight up free win. Any team fight is a free win. If you lose a team fight, when you have flash and ultimate on a Mumu, you are making a massive mistake. There is something you're doing wrong. So if you have flash ultimate with a full build, there is no way you can lose a team fight. So right here, I'm just waiting again, not walking in an obvious position, standing off to the side a little bit more. You're not an actual proper tank to be able to just walk like right here, for example. You're kind of more of a flank, try to get an ultimate off type of tank. If I was playing maybe like Sejuani, I could easily walk like here, because then I would be a little bit more frontlining. But as a Mumu, I want to get that Q ult off on my backline, and that's really what I'm looking for. So again, standing on the side here, they don't have vision. I checked it, by the way. I used my sweeper right here. This is a very important thing. My sweeper is also very good. As you can see, we hit that. I put my sweeper on just to know if they have vision or not. They don't. So I'm just going to stand in this brush and wait out of vision as much as possible. So that ward doesn't see us. They don't know we're here. Elise walks up. I stun the Elise. Jack CC chains the Elise. And the Elise is in 1 HP on Zonias. And now as you can see, this is all about just ult placement. So right here, I am just going to get my flash ultimate off in a second, I think. There we go. I hit the Azir. I hit the Malphite. And I believe I also hit the Kai'Sa, but she's invisible. Or did she already die? Oh, she's on the other side. Okay, didn't see that. But that's a very good ult situation there. I get a good ultimate hit off on pretty much essential targets. Did miss the Kai'Sa, but that's really not much I can do about that one. Now we need one person in the back to be able to defend this, because we don't have turrets, which is easily going to be Jax. He does still have the TP if he needs to join this team fight. And at this point I already knew, like, Demolish right there, that proc is really insane. That's also why I love Demolish. We just, like, Kai'Sa tries to maybe do something, I stun Kai'Sa, and yeah. Jax hold the pike down, and we can end the game off that. So this game pretty much perfectly shows you how to play a Mumu. It's a very good ult placements that you need to look for. Don't waste your ult on single targets, that's very important. And always try to go in from the side maybe to get a flank on the enemy team. Usually if you get a good Mumu ultimate off like 3 or 4 people, you're going to win a team fight no matter what. There's really, unless you time it really, really poorly, there's really not much the enemy team can do to a good Amumu ultimate. You scale incredibly well with this build. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Amumu, guys. If you guys have enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit the thumbs up button. If you guys have suggestions as well for other champions, put those in the comments below. And see you guys in the next video. Bye!